I'm wondering, Grayscale this morning announced 5 new trusts holding altcoins. Bitcoin has had an impressive run. Will momentum tilt down, favoring smaller cap assets?
Yeah, good question, Christine. Alt season is this, notion of a cyclical relationship in which investors take their Bitcoin profits and then play the altcoin casino with house money, as it were, and then, vice versa. So, whether evidence supports the theory or not, it's certainly observable at times. In Q4, Bitcoin kind of outran everything in the digital large cap index, the DLCX. This is an institutional grade index published every second by our subsidiary company TradeBlock on tradeblock.com. And it represents 70% of the crypto market's value. So you can see from this chart, and then if you fire up the next one here, kind of how things changed as we headed into Q1 2021. So far, Ether has really been the fastest horse in the DLCX, right? We saw Bitcoin and Ether kind of trading the lead there in terms of returns over the quarter. So alt season is in evidence, at least as far as ETH is concerned. The other large cap components of the DLCX, not so much.
All right. But the large caps are 70% of the market. For the rest of the alt universe, let's turn to our chart of the day. Let's take a look at this. So I found this chart to be really interesting. It lays it all out there. This is the year-to-date returns for the top cryptocurrencies. We hear all about Bitcoin, but Bitcoin actually places 14th so far this year. Cardano is absolutely killing it. If you invested in Cardano in the beginning of the year, you would have sextupled, I hope that's a word, sextupled your return. So are these assets trustworthy?
Look, any asset in crypto is vulnerable to the charge that that there's limited value behind it, right? There's no cash flows, etc. But certainly, I would say, I guess any of these altcoins that are leading the market this quarter are more volatile than Bitcoin, and that includes Ether for the most part. This is the CoinDesk 20. This is a list of volume leaders on trusted exchanges. It's measured from 2 consecutive quarters or more. So you don't see assets kind of flash on here and then flash off. There are no flavors of the month. There are no fake volume rock stars. This is really a list that's designed to filter out some of that noise in the crypto markets. And you can find it, by the way, at coindesk.com/data.
Okay. So tell us about the top 3 assets so far this year on your list, in your opinion.
Well, so, in terms of the leaders, it's Cardano, 0x, and Algorand. And so let's start with Algorand and Cardano because they're kind of in the same category. They're both smart contract platforms, competitors, if you will, to Ethereum. And they're new to the CoinDesk 20 as of last quarter. So until Q4, they did not have the verifiable volume in order to be included on this list. To see them kind of shoot to the top of that list, and I think if this chart doesn't really show the day to day, but they have been consistently climbing and leading the market in terms of growth and growing in terms of volume as well over the past, almost 2 quarters now, right, as we get toward the end of the first quarter here. So, interesting to see the kind of Web3 thesis, right, born out in those two. People are interested in Ethereum. They've gotten used to the idea of this asset and this kind of Web3 vision of the future, and perhaps looking to diversify a little. The other one is 0x. Look, it's a DeFi stalwart. 0x has been into DeFi before DeFi was cool. And I think while you've seen some of those other generations of DeFi assets really kind of give way to the yield farming generation, the Unis and the Sushis and the Yearn and the Avas, et cetera, the compound finance, that kind of newer generation that was part of the DeFi summer last year. 0x has been around since before that, and exciting to see it continue to perform so well in this quarter.
All right, excellent. And I think, I'm just surprised about Cardano. I don't know if you have any opinion on that because I'm just surprised that it's just doing as well as it is. I understand that they have some partnerships. They have been Chris Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, has been absolutely working his butt off to make the tech work and get those partnerships involved. So, all right.
I mean, again, it's not yeah, it's hard to sort of really get behind and say, okay, well, this one has something to it, and this one doesn't. I think people have differing opinions on that. But what we can say is that investors are showing real interest in these products. They want to, they want to be involved. They're interested, and it's not just kind of like this thing is very hot right now, so people are sort of piling in to the momentum trade. You see a little bit more of a long-term interest building in buying and holding these kind of assets. I think that's what you kind of see reflected in that table. And it's not necessarily this cyclical shift between Bitcoin and alts, which would be the sort of alt season idea. But really, you see these surging assets like Cardano, 0x, Algorand. In the CoinDesk 20, they're outpacing digital large cap index stalwarts like Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin. So that, that's at least the market today. I think that's a momentum trend that could continue. But we'll have to. I think we'll have to. I wouldn't count those. I wouldn't count those kind of longer historied assets out just yet.